I tell you who will catch a touchdown
Yeah.
this week. George Kittle. He's Mr. National Tight Ends.
You're right. He's Mr. National Tight Ends Day.
No catches.
And it's like D'Amico Ryans and those crazy second-level players they got. They're going to be over-aggressive at some point, and Shanahan's going to call one.
It's guaranteed.
Yo, what's up? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And, yeah, the Oracle Connor Rogers is here. He's calling out touchdowns 5 days before they happen now. I mean, damn, National Tight End Day, and it did feel like tight ends went off.
Free money.
And we're going to talk about that a little today. We got some good conversations with that because I do think there's a changing of the guard at the tight end position. I don't think we're breaking news there, but, damn, there's some young good ones right now that are freaking awesome. Good to have you. Good to see you. Wednesday here, pod.
We're back.
I'm back with my man Connor. We're hanging. We got lots of shit. I could say fuck now because this one's not on YouTube page.
Yeah.
Fuck shit.
Get it all out of your system. You're good to go. You did such a good job holding it in during our YouTube live.
Thank you very much.
We're live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We're live on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, where Chris has to actually slightly censor himself.
Censor my mouth, which is not easy to do.
What was the good one? Diddly shit?
Yeah. Sorry. You like that one?
Yeah, it was really, really
I got to
good.
substitute some words in there on those ones. So.
All right. So we got plenty today, yes. George Kittle is Mr. National Tight End Day. The true welcome back for George Kittle. I know it was the second week back, but
right.
This felt like the real welcome back. And we got a film review of that game, but it's not about George Kittle. It's about the Texans offense that has finally really started to show some life here. The Ravens defense has shown some life. The deep dive on familiar coaches that know each other and how they prepare and perform against one another. And as we always close out on this show, what's more likely for Week 9. But before we do any of that, Chris, the National Tight End Day conversation did kind of make us wonder, like, who is in the upper echelonce of NFL tight ends right now? Who are the guys that are in that tier 1 gap of their own, and then it's everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of good tight ends in the NFL right now. I think the broader conversation a little bit is people go like, why? Like, what's gone on?
Right.
Well, I mean, the sport's more popular than ever. I think that, I mean, you go to high school football, 7-on-7s, 8th grades. I mean, the numbers are incredible. All the best athletes in our country want to play football right now. I think we got a lot of like old day tight ends that would probably go, wait, I think maybe I could play power forward basketball in the NBA. And it's like, no, you're 6'5". That's a point guard in the NBA.
Right.
You got to find something else. And power forwards, unless you got a 42-inch vertical, power forward at 6'5" ain't going to work in the NBA. Sorry.
Long gone.
Yeah. The Giannis is a power forward. Like, good luck trying to shoot over him at 7'1" with a 42-inch vertical, right? So I think we see that. And I think the position with some of the run game and what's going on in the NFL, getting back to big people. People are looking to use the tight end. And, yes, it just seems like we got more freaky athletes playing the position than ever before. And I think that's what the cool thing and what we're seeing right now.
It's like the rebirth of 12 personnel.
Yeah, right.
Everybody wants to be the cool kid and do it, but you can't just go out there and do it.
No,
you
got to draft those guys and do it.
The Lions with Laporta, the Ravens when they were rolling with 3 tight ends for a while, they would even run 13 personnel.
Right, the 49ers have always had a good 12 personnel package, or at least a use check. Could be a tight end or a fullback, however you want to say it, right? But they can get and run power formations and do that to you. And I think that's where we are with the league right now. So, yeah, there's a lot of damn good ones. And I think it's a changing of the guard, right? George Kittle's really awesome. Is he the top 2 or 3 in football anymore? I don't know if I'd put him in that conversation, but it's up there.
It's a problem.
It's a problem, right? Yeah. Exactly right. Mark Andrews is no longer a top 5 tight end. Travis Kelce is no longer a top 5 tight end. I'm not saying they're not good. Don't try to say that. Not at all. They're still good, but they're not on the level of some of the other guys I think we're about to bring up to as far as upper echelon type tight ends.
Well, I think the combo for this season has to start with Tucker Kraft. I mean, because Tucker Kraft is a guy that can
do it all.
Play on the line of scrimmage.
Exactly
so
right.
So he never has to come off the field.
Exactly right.
But then you watch him run across the middle of the field and you're like eyes wide. And then you watch him run with the ball in his hands and he just runs right through you.
He can run by people. Right. And then he is physical. I mean, he wants to hurt you when he runs with the ball.
He's looking
runs
for
angry.
contact.
I sit here right now, and Brock Bowers, of course, we know is in this conversation, 100%. He's been hurt lately, so he's out of sight, out of mind a little bit. But, man, I sit here right now, and I feel like, to me, if you made me pick 2 tight ends I want in the game right now, to me, it's Tucker Kraft is 1, and I'm going to go Tyler Warren, number 2.
Nice.
I want Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren can block, and then, again, he's like Tucker Kraft, where I don't think he blocks as good as Tucker Kraft does yet, but yet when he gets the ball, it's like, whoa, he can run by people, and if you try to square him up, he will run you the fuck over, just like Tucker Kraft. And I think I err towards those two guys maybe more than anybody in the sport right now.
It's hard not to based off of this year. I think when Bowers is healthy, he's special.
He's special.
But I will say, I think he is more, and what he is great at is elite.
Yes.
And I don't use that word
He's
with
more
hyperbole.
pass-catching tight end / slot receiver, right?
But these two are more complete.
Yeah.
That's
Put the hand on the ground. They can do that, and that's where you want them. But they can line up at receiver and be pretty damn good. Maybe not to Bowers level, but the traditional tight end stuff, I feel like they're a little bit better than Bowers in that department.
Yeah, these guys are special. And it kind of brings upon the conversation. It's not hard to find a starting tight end. It's very hard to find the complete tight end.
Yes.
Like, guys just skew towards he's a receiving tight end or he's a blocking tight end. And blocking tight ends get paid now, big contracts.
Yes.
But when you have one like Green Bay has, or you have one that the Colts drafted with the 14th overall pick, and there was a lot of discourse before that draft of, can you take a tight end this early?
Right.
Well, the Colts are laughing now because it's worked out perfectly.
Exactly right. I think, too, as we go here, we're seeing more of the hybrids, right? Where we're getting to the draft and we're going, wait, tight ends, we're starting to see ones that block and catch and do that, right? Laporta, right? Or Loveland in Chicago, right? Where they're drafted highly and do that. It's like, where I think we're starting to see more of that complete tight end become a thing in college football and in the NFL as well. But yeah, I'm with you there. I think it's those three, certainly. Who else are we missing here as far as in this conversation? Kittle is still pretty damn elite when he's healthy. He is up there. But like after Bowers, Tucker Kraft, and Tyler Warren, who do you think you would go with next in that conversation as the next guy up, right? Man. Because I know that's where it's actually, because you really look at it.
McBride?
That's who we're missing.
Has to be McBride.
Trey McBride.
I thought we were missing someone.
That's what Trey McBride is in that combo with those
really
guys right there.
Good.
Exactly right. He's kind of, to me, a hybrid of like Bowers and Tucker Kraft. He's not as big as Tucker Kraft and quite as physical at the line of scrimmage, but and he's not quite as good as Bowers as far as line him up a receiver, but he's damn good.
Yep.
He's almost a hybrid that way. Yes, I would say that Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride are a little bit in a class of their own, I think, at the tight end position.
I think that's completely justified.
Okay. All right, good. I'm glad to hear you say that.
The guys that I want to see, like, can they be next up now? We all have our eyes on Oronde Gadsden.
Yep, right.
Because it's been a really small sample size, but holy
it's impressive
smokes.
Shit. Right, exactly.
Like, you look at him, you're like, I don't know how many linebackers can run with him.
Right.
And the receiving skills are real.
Harold Fannin.
And then Harold Fannin.
Right.
Who I was like, man, whoever drafts him better have a plan.
Yeah.
Because his usage at Bowling Green was so
receiver-ish.
unique.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But the Browns, Stefanski has a real plan for him.
He does have
working.
a real plan. Damn, he puts him at fullback. He puts him at traditional tight end, and he looks like he's growing into becoming a little bit of a blocker. Right? I think Laporta's probably close to our top guys as well. He may be not as freaky after the catch as the guys I think we're talking about, right? That's maybe what's missing, but blocks damn well.
And he has to share the ball.
That's why he doesn't get the same love. High-level route runner.
Yep.
That's the other thing, too, there. But, you go through the league right now. It's incredible because you talk about Fannin and you go, man, Njoku's a pretty good tight end. He can do everything. It's every team has got something. Freiermuth, they can't get him the ball because Aaron Rodgers doesn't ever throw a ball over the middle on time or ever, right? I said this on Monday with PFT. When's the last time you saw Aaron Rodgers drop back, 7-step drop, take a hitch, and throw an in-cut down the middle of the field? When's the last time? Does it ever happen anymore? Or throw a crossing route, 20 yards down the field? It's always in the flat, slant, in the flat, back shoulder, fade down the sideline.
Right.
So I feel bad for Freiermuth. The damn Buffalo Bills have 2 of them.
Maybe 3.
Jackson Hall
I know,
like
at least
holy crap, I know.
Player.
Maybe 3. Yeah. We see that the Patriots are pretty good there.
Yep.
Denver with Evan Ingram. It goes on and on right now with Cade Otton in Tampa Bay. We know that Philadelphia's got some damn good tight ends as well.
Ferguson's always underrated.
Exactly right. Always underrated that way in Dallas. Kyle Pitts, we haven't gotten to him. Hawkinson, right, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to him either yet. There is a lot of quality tight ends in the NFL right now is our point.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the film review.
Yeah.
Because this is, and I like how Pete put in Kyle Pitts. Just kidding, but I think Kyle Pitts is.
He's still something to be reckoned with.
He's bounced back this year.
He definitely has. Right.
At least to above expectations.
Again, I'm not putting him in top 5 or but he's borderline top 10-ish, I think, right in there. And there's something to be said about that. And as we've talked about, the tight ends are starting to get to my old phrase I used to use with Ahmed, with receivers, that I'd go, there's 20 top 10 receivers in the NFL. It feels like right now there's 15 top 10 tight ends in the NFL right now, to be fair.
All right, the Week 8 film review.
Yeah.
And right off the top, Chris, this was the game that maybe surprised me the most this week.
Right.
When the Texans were favored in this game, I was like, this just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
The Niners have it rolling. The Texans just don't look like themselves. And, man, it just feels like they found it against this Niners defense. But what did they find?
Well, I think, one, there's always great comfort in playing a scheme that's your scheme.
Right.
Who's going to know how to attack that better? They saw it every day in training camp. So this is Robert Saleh and company. They taught D'Amico Ryan. So C.J. Stroud and them are like, oh, man, when the 49ers are coming to town, we know some of their rules. It's the same as our defense. We know how to attack it. We've had a game plan for our defense every day during training camp, right? Oh, and they run the same scheme, and actually they're not as talented as our defense. So this could be a little bit easier, right? I think there is that aspect that certainly goes into it. I also think when, and off of that too, like when I was in Tampa, what were we famous for? Tampa 2.
Of course.
Okay. I mean, it was prime Tampa 2. When teams would play us in Tampa 2, we were like, great.
We see this all the time.
We're one of the few teams that has a lot of ways to play against Tampa 2. We'd like you to do that more, please, right? And I feel like teams figured that out. They were like, man, we can't play Tampa and Tampa 2 too much. They know how to attack it because we had to deal with it in training camp every day. So we knew that. So there is that aspect. I think the other aspect, too, that's interesting to me, and I maybe should have emphasized this more. And I never got to be a part of a particular situation quite like this. But defensive head coach who came from the team you're about to play, I would just have a hard time not thinking D'Amico Ryans went over to the offensive staff a little bit. And the offensive staff goes, hey, what do you think they're doing here? Like, this team went and they lined up in this formation. They motioned and shift over to this formation. Why do you think they're doing that or whatever? And D'Amico Ryans can go, ooh, well, when they call quarters and they're in this formation and then you shift to this, they're going to like to check to this coverage or defense because they don't like quarters anymore now that you've shifted to this formation. And I think those are maybe some of the things that there was a handful of plays in this game. We're going to show a few. Yeah. Some are just creative, good plays by the Texans offense that I feel like they were a little bit like, hey, we got a feel for how they'll defend us here, and we'll know how to coach it exactly, how to expose it. And not every play was sexy. Sometimes it was just to get a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Right.
But nonetheless, I feel like there was certainly an element of that in this football game that helped the Houston Texans out.
Where C.J. Stroud maybe had some more answers than he usually does.
Definitely did.
A backup plan.
And maybe I think one other thing, and this is going to sound repetitive almost to what we've said to Kansas City in weeks past. I think they might have stumbled onto something in this game because of this. Become a short passing team. Become a short passing team. Let this guy behind me right here, who is a pinpoint thrower, just be surgical. Start there because you're elite at nothing right now.
Yeah.
And what it did show me in this football game is they can be elite in the quick, short passing game. He sees the field well. He's got a quick release. He's an on-the-money thrower. I also feel like this was the first game they trusted the younger receivers a little bit and opened the offense up for them. I do. I had felt like a little bit like, I don't know if they trust Jalen Noel and Hutchinson and some of these guys with
training wheels
some of their right. I felt like this game was the first time they were like, hey, we're stuck with them. They're playing. We got no Nico. Christian Kirk's out. It's like they got to either sink or swim now. We got to run some of our offense here. We can't go, I don't trust him to read the coverage the right way or whatever. So I feel like some of that happened as well. But I do think the short passing game is something that the Texans can jump off of here and maybe make their offense a little bit better as we go forward.
Well, I really like the callback in your notebook. I want to show that here. You said, I remember Josh McDaniels. Well, this will always stick with me before the Seahawks Super Bowl.
Right.
him telling me you have to be the Patriots with completions of 5 to 8 yards.
You have to
right?
be patient. Patience. Yeah, it looks like Patriots.
Because I was thinking where he's from. I'm like, and that's what Brady did for so long.
Him telling me you have to be patient with completions of 5 to 8 yards when you play the Seattle scheme. Right? They don't give you a lot of plays down the football field. That's not what they do. Right? And I can remember him saying, like, hey, the perfect stat line a lot of the times when you play a Seattle-type defense might be 22 of 27, 230 yards, right? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Right.
Something like that. It's not always going to be sexy. You got to kind of go into the game trying to, or have at least that be your main goal. And not get frustrated with, we can't get chunk plays. We can't get chunk plays. Because their defense is almost predicated on not letting you get chunk plays. That's really what it's all about. And that to me, and again, offensive coordinator here in Houston has a New England background. To where I feel like they kind of took that approach of going, hey, we're going to stretch some of these creative little 3-on-2 zones they have or 4-on-3 zones they have, and we're going to find ways to run our routes the right way and just spread it out a little bit and sit a guy in the middle or have somebody there after we spread out that zone and we get 5 yards here and 6 yards here and 5 yards here. And that's what they did. And then they found a few opportunities where the 49ers got frustrated and blitzed and man-to-man and just stuff like that. And they go, okay, now's our time to maybe take a shot down the field and be a hair more aggressive. And I feel like that was their approach, and I feel like it was really brilliant that way.
And I think Stroud's passing chart backs that up, especially what we're used to seeing with C.J. Stroud. But in this one, you have a guy that was willing to get the ball out, let guys create after the catch, make plays. And, I mean, Chris, they have playmakers on this team, as you see the passing chart right here, that can do that in a Woody Marks, or we know how explosive of an athlete Jalen Noel is.
Exactly.
Even Braxton Berrios on some short. Let's get through a couple of plays. And I know
cool. But look at this. I mean, if that doesn't speak to patience and let's just keep our offense in good situations, right? They're not going to give us the big plays. So if they're not, then fine. And you want to give us 4 or 5 yard completions, our quarterback can hit those all day long and be right on the money. And you see that here. I mean, it's actually incredible to look at how they threw the ball in the football game. It's more green dots in the short area than maybe I even thought in my mind.
Well, let's start with the Woody Marks 50-yard reception here. This is in the first quarter, 3 minutes left. It's a 2nd and 5. Houston's on their own 18-yard line on this one, and we have the dots behind us for your viewing pleasure. This is pretty awesome. So walk us through the concept here, Chris, that got Woody so much space.
Well, this is one here where I mean, I feel like they knew they were going to get man-to-man, okay? And so they're in man-to-man, and I would say, honestly, this is one where if you'll see here, oops, I forgot I was connected to my pack here, but if you see here, right, and I'm going to let this re-rack one more time because I'm going to stand up and talk to it, but if Stroud had more time to throw this ball, and when it re-racks, I'll show you, okay, you'll see when he's here, he's got one of these crossers. I mean, he's got it. He really does. He's got 19, and he wants to throw to him. He wants to throw to either one. He's looking down the field, but you could see he's got duress here. They blitzed. He did a great job here where Bethune, I believe, had, Woody Marks man-to-man. All right, he had him, but when he play action, and at first he kind of blocked, and then he shot his gun, and I think he went, wait, he's blocking. I'm going to go get the quarterback because that's what he was taught to do. And CJ's
inexperienced
a younger linebacker where you got to go, wait, I got to see this out, see this through a little bit. All right, and he does that, and as you see, here's Woody Marks in the flat. Boom, CJ Stroud gets it to him, and now there's nobody there to have. Now, what I'll say with this and talking to it, see, the 49ers have felt like they blitzed and played more man-to-man because they were like, wait, we're sick of being beat for 5 and 6 yard type of throws. And after the first drive where they got surgically destroyed a little bit, I think they went a little bit like, hey, we got to mix in some other stuff here. We can't let him just pick us apart. And that was a benefactor or a benefit of them throwing the ball short early in the football game to get them into some defenses just like you see here.
Yeah, and Woody Marks is the
guy.
You
hear me, right? My microphone's going.
Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
Cool.
Loud and clear.
I wasn't sure if I unplugged something.
And that's Woody's skill set coming out of college. Is getting to the flat, catch the ball, and make things happen.
Exactly right.
Like, that's the one thing you can allow with him.
No question.
So they were leaning into that.
They're
not a good traditional run team.
Not right now. That's why we were talking about the short passing game, and this stuff is going to be big for them.
Right.
Yes, do that.
That's an extension of the run. How about another play, this time to a wide receiver and Braxton Berrios, Chris? What caught my eye before you even jump into it is just the formation and how do they utilize it.
The formation, and look, they're just looking for an easy completion here, okay? That's all they're trying to do. You get a 4-man rush, all right? And within it, too, and, like, guys, when he gets to his spot here in the stack, stop it right now. Yep, right there if you want. Okay, that's good. That works. That'll work. So here they're in a situation here, all right, where we got 4 down. It's a man-to-man situation. What they really wanted to do, and if you could rewind it just a little more, one more time, right, guys? If you can do that, yep, a little bit more, like right there. That's perfect. Just when 17 gets behind 81, try to stop it right there. All right, so when he goes into motion here, okay, keep it going, keep my motion, play it, just stop it right here, stop here, okay? What they really want to do is stop it when they get to the stack again. I know. All right, 20, Upton Stout, okay? He knows at this moment, oh, no, I got to play inside and switch here.
It's a kind of rub.
It's like a rub. So he's worried about 17's going to go inside off of this guy, and he wants to try to get inside and play inside leverage. But they know how they play things and know the rules a little bit, and they teach 81 to take an inside release, even though 17's going inside too, to just not let Upton Stout be able to cross his face and be there for a nice 4-yard completion. So go ahead, let it play now, guys, and sorry about, but you see it there? Boom. So he got stuck in the rub with 81, and you find a little way, again, of I know their rules a little bit. I know what they're going to do in certain formations and when we motion, and the big thing is not only to know the rules, but then you got to teach a little nuance in the routes to how to attack the leverage, right? And that's what I found out. There was a number of little short passes throughout the game like this. I just wanted to give an example because I know it's not sexy, but this is what the game was. It was a lot of 5 and 6 yard throws just like this where they kind of knew how they were going to be played and they go, we can get a completion here.
But I think this is such a vital example because what are you seeing? It's 2nd and 8. So what are the Texans really bad at? They can't protect on 3rd and long.
Exactly right.
So you need to keep yourself at a 3rd and long. So you go into a 2nd and 8 and go, let's get 4, and we can convert on 3rd and 4.
Yes, exactly.
We do not have the personnel to convert on 3rd and 8.
100%. So way to button it up, Connor.
That is
exactly
leaning
right.
into what you are bad at and what it's going to make you better.
100%. You're exactly
people
right.
Might be like a 4-yard completion. Well,
yeah.
It's all about
the whole game was this. That's what I'm trying to say. The whole game was 5 and 6 and 5 and 6. And then, oh, wait, it's 5 and 6. We took a shot down the field. Oh, Woody Marks wasn't covered because you blitzed and you were trying to play man-to-man. That was a big play. And there was only a few big pass plays in the football game. And I believe we have another one to show you off of that, right?
Because this guy, I think, needs to play more.
Yes.
And that's Jalen Knoll.
I think this is the week they've realized it.
Right. Like kind of awakened them a little bit.
Right.
Jalen Knoll, who was one of the most explosive athletes in the draft, this was a 44-yard catch at the second quarter, Chris, and this is another 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8, okay. They're playing, the 49ers are playing quarters coverage, and when it gets back into the top of the rack here, just pause it when it gets back into the stop right here, if you don't mind. Perfect, guys. All right, so here now we got a little bit of run formation, right? We got Jalen Knoll here, 81 to the left, quarters coverage as you see here. All right, everybody listening. Now 0 and 27 in the back end, right? Corner and safety. Okay, because of this tight split and they're playing quarters, it almost makes like they're going to double 81. All right, they're going to double 81. And the whole play is for this right here where they want to eat up these two guys, Jair Brown and my guy from Florida State, Green, right? They want to eat them up and keep them kind of right here so they could throw over the top to Jalen Knoll. It's all it's about. So within this, it's quarters, as we know, and you see this. These two, because of the split, it's a little tighter by 81. He eats up 2. And one of these guys has to get back. It's really Green that's got to get back, but because of the split and because he makes an outside breaking route, he knows, wait, he could run a post corner or some sort of out, and I have to be there for it. So now let it play, guys, if you don't mind. You're going to see it play action pass, see, and he kind of pauses for a second because he's afraid he's going to go to the corner. and now we have somebody over the top of you. And to me, again, that was another one where I looked at it and go, they know how they'll play it in this situation, right? He probably had a check. Like if they didn't play quarters, they were probably going to get to some other type of play. But if they got quarters, this is what they wanted and this is what they drew up. And I think that, again, was another example of them kind of have a good feel for the defensive scheme.
And that somebody has 4-3 wheels in Jalen Noel, and that's his teammate from college on the other side,
exactly
Jaden
right.
Higgins.
I know.
So they know the timing of each other.
Right.
I interviewed both of them at the Combine and asked them how important that was, and they just know what they're going to do all the time. So when the Texans took both of them, I was like, oh, that's going to be really interesting to watch. Now you're starting to reap the benefits of that.
They're going to be able to complement each other quite well because Noel is your jitterbug, 3 rockets up your ass type of guy. Hutchinson can run and stretch you deep and do all that, but he's the bigger one-on-one jump ball physicality guy. You know, also a good route runner, but not the jitterbug type of route runner. Yeah, I think the future is bright for these two guys, and I hope they ride them a little bit more. To me, Jalen Noel is one of the few guys on their offense that can make big-time explosive plays, and that's where I just go, they need to ride him a little bit more here.
And they got Jaden Higgins involved by the 12-yard touchdown catch, Chris, which was in the third quarter. So they're trying to get these rookie wide receivers going as much as they can. I think so,
and that's why I said it before. I think it's the first time where I felt like they were like, all right, we gotta see if they can hang in the trust tree here. We got to go here.
Well, they gave him the shot on this one.
It is a really cool play here. Now, I bet you on this one, I don't think this is going to be Tampa 2 until the motion, all right? I'm going to guess it was going to be some other sort of two-deep formation. As you're watching, we got a bunch to the right. You got Hutchinson. Who the hell is 17? I always forget his name. Berrios, right? So Berrios is there. We got a bunch to the right. And pause it right here, guys, just for now. You got Hutchinson, Noel, and Berrios to your right? And then we got Schultz at tight end to the left all by himself. I think right now this defense is probably going to be quarter, half to the front side, right? These two, Jair Brown and Lemonor, are both playing quarters on this side, but I think when they have the motion, this is to me again, I don't know this, but D'Amico Ryan going, I think if you motion this guy over here and get to a 2x2 set, it'll go to Tampa 2. And I say that too because when I watched it on film, when the motion started to happen, he started to look at him and they were communicating like, hey, we're changing, right? So as we see this, you'll see here, like you talked about, okay, it's going to go to Tampa 2. Our man Bethune is the Tampa 2 linebacker. They've taught him, hey, we want you to open to the speed, right? These are 2 receivers over here. So he's going to open that way and worry about the deep middle and protect it that way. Okay, but now we're going to have our man Higgins come in motion. Okay, guys, go ahead and let it play. All right? And if you don't mind, pause it right before that. Pause it now if you don't mind. Okay, perfect, guys. We see this. 48, I said, is looking over here. Now, when they come off with this type of motion, Schultz runs to the corner as they often do. More times than not, if you break down the Texans and they run something like this receiver sits right here in some sort of option route in between the zone, right? He kind of reads the coverage. This guy's playing zone. This guy starts to widen out, right, green, because he's worried, I got to protect the corner route a little bit. So there's usually a hole there. I think this was a game plan play where, D'Amico Ryans goes, I think they're going to play Tampa 2. He won't be looking down the middle, Bethune, the middle linebacker, and these two guys are going to sit here thinking, wait, is he going to go inside to me? Is he going to go outside to me? Is he going to sit it up? And instead, they just let Hutchinson run right through the middle of the post. You guys can let it play, and you could see it's a wide open touchdown down the middle of the field right there, right? You see 48 Bethune. He now is like, oh, wait, I got to flip my hips and go back the other side. They're trying to attack the backside of me. He's not wrong in what he's being taught. This is a game plan play that I feel like they knew what they were going to get if they got into this formation with the motion. And, of course, they got what they wanted, and then, bam, it was a touchdown.
And the throw is perfect on this.
Throw was perfect. Well. He missed 2 throws in the game. He might have missed an out route and maybe one crossing route at one point. Even his interception at the end of the half, Man, it wasn't a bad. He was tight coverage. It wasn't a bad throw. And then Lemonor did a horrible job. He should have gone down, so they could have kicked a field goal to go into the half. I believe that would have made it 16-10.
Yeah, it would have definitely changed
instead,
things.
he
coming
ran
out of the
around and did whatever. The whole sideline's going, go down, go down. I could see Shanahan with his play sheet like going crazy on the sideline. He doesn't go down. Clock runs out, and Texans go into the half up 16-7.
So no sacks allowed by the Texans in this game. Per Next Gen Stats, Houston allowed a season-low 21.4% pressure rate. The 49ers blitzed on a season-high 33.3% of the dropbacks.
I thought so.
They got 7 pressures on 14 on the 14 dropbacks, just 2 pressures on 28 dropbacks with no blitz. So they had no pressure in this game without blitzing. But the problem is, Chris, when Stroud was under pressure, which was against the blitz, basically, he was 7-9 for 111 yards, a touchteam, didn't take any sacks.
No,
Do you think they schemed this for the offensive line rather than the offensive line just having this way better performance?
I think they, schemed it a little bit. They know what blitzes to expect. That always helps. So scout team all week was a little bit like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And so you're coached up that way. I also think the short passing game, some of those blitzes, it was like, yeah, you blitz, but we're throwing it short. So what? I'm under a little pressure, but I'm about to get the ball out of my hand anyways. So I think there's that aspect there. I like the approach from Houston. I think it's something they should do as they go forward, right? I really do. Now, the other thing off of that, right? And I see Pete going familiar coaches. Who has the advantage, a Shanahan or D'Amico Ryans? I think in these type of situations, right? And I never was a part of anything like this, but know enough people and know, hey, there's lots of stories like this from friends and people I've known in the NFL throughout the years. Yeah, I think the D'Amico Ryans has the advantage in this type of situation, right? Because, yes, he knows exactly how he's like, I know how that defense operates. And I think that the offensive coordinator can call him in and go, wait, I don't understand the rules here. Can you explain this to me and tell me what to do, right? Like, I think that works more rather than, let's just say, Shanahan has an offensive head coach friend that's gone somewhere else to become a head coach, and now the defense comes in and goes, hey, Kyle, can you teach us some of the rules of the offense? Like, yeah, you could teach a few things,
right?
But there's not as much to be taught there because it's like, we get in this formation. I know he likes to run this play, but there's like 60 other plays he can run on that, right? So it's different from defense to where you can't quite pigeonhole it to kind of know what they're going to do quite to the same extent as the defense, okay? And I guess that's what I'm trying to say there.
It makes a ton of sense. What about the veteran coach or the younger coach situation?
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like that can go both ways.
It can go both ways. It depends what it is. I'd probably say still more times than not, the veteran coach is going to have the advantage.
You've seen everything.
Right. But every now and then the young coach goes, I'm young, I'm creative, and I'm going to throw some shit at you that, you didn't teach me this. I got some new wrinkles to my game here. And that can happen that way. But I think this defensive coach going to help out his offensive coach is more helpful than offensive coach trying to go help out his defensive coach. I just think there's more to be gleaned and learned there from the defensive side. Like I told you, the offensive coach may be able to go, hey, if you blitz and do this blitz, I think they'll check to this, and that's one thing that you could get a little bit. But more times than not, a smart offensive coach is going to go, man, they're going to teach the other team what to do if we run this blitz. He won't run the same audible. We're going to change it because they're going to be expecting it. So I give, the D'Amico Ryans formula in this conversation, I think is more beneficial than vice versa is what I'm trying to say.
And also in this specific game where Robert Saleh's dealing with a lot of backups.
Yes.
Where it felt like you nailed this, where he started to resort to the blitz because he's like, my scheme is built on the front four getting home. I don't have anyone that can get home now.
I think that's going to be something 49ers are going to – this could be a constant problem for them, right?
It just feels like Mykel Williams is not ready to be that guy.
They like Mykel Williams. He's damn good, right? But is he ready to take over games and be that guy? No, right? Our guy from Alfred Collins, I know they love him and everything he's doing there, right? Yeah, but he's not ready to be a all-the-time pass rush difference maker that way. Yeah, so I feel like as we go forward here, the 49ers might become a little bit bit more of a blitz pressure man-to-man type of football team.
We're going to take our first break. When we're back, though, are the Ravens back from the dead? They're up next on the Film Review after a big weekend for Baltimore. College football Saturday on NBC and Peacock. Rutgers versus Illinois at 12 p.m. Eastern time to start the day. And then how about number 23, USC against Nebraska for the prime time, under the lights, 7 p.m. Eastern time start.
Raiola versus Jaden Mayava.
Maybe a laser show?
Yeah, it could be pretty damn good, right?
I'm excited.
Good. That will be fun. I mean, yeah, I expect Nebraska to be able to throw the ball on USC, as we know.
Yep.
And I feel like USC can throw the ball just about on anybody. So you look at it that way, I feel like, yeah, we will see some big-time plays in the past game.
All right, the Week 8 film review. How about the Ravens defense standing up to the Bears in a game where it felt like not a lot of hope going into it, Chris, with no Lamar Jackson, and it ended up not mattering. The Ravens, we've been waiting for this version of the Baltimore defense this year.
Right. I think, one, why did they ever let Tyler Huntley go, and why wasn't he their backup? I don't understand that. Tyler Huntley, to me, has always been the perfect fit as a backup there. He's pretty efficient and can control the ball in the passing game, and he can run a little bit. And in this game, compared to Cooper Rush, who, again, I like Cooper Rush, but I just don't know if he fits this offense, and that would be the problem. Like we saw the other day where Tyler Huntley, okay, yeah, guy's open, he hits that. Oh, wait, nobody's open? Oh, he can go get a few yards running the football himself and do that. And that's all they needed. They just need a little something on the offensive side of the ball with Lamar Jackson, because the defense being back healthy was a huge difference. I don't think, full disclosure, I don't think I didn't realize when I got to pick the games on Thursday that everybody on Baltimore's defense was basically back except for Madubuike, who we know is out for the year.
Right.
And so when I turned on the film, I was like, oh, damn, damn, they're all back. I didn't realize everybody was back. Right? I thought it would be a close football game either way because the Ravens, off a bye week, desperation, got to win it, all of that. But, yes, the defense being healthy and their attitude, the way they played was all awesome. And I think the first thing that was shocking to me, and this goes back to your yesterday pod rankings, right? And I think it says something about the Bears' run game and how you made it a top 5 run game.
Yeah.
The Ravens... The Ravens started the game with, like, you're not going to run the ball on us.
Yeah,
that's how they played.
Else.
Their alignments were like, we're stopping the run first, and then we'll go from there. And I thought that to be pretty interesting, and they had a pretty successful day overall on the defensive side of the ball.
The reinforcements that you mentioned, Roquan Smith played 100% of the snaps after missing 2 games, and boy, was his impact felt for sure.
Right.
Alohi Gilman, second game with the team after the trade. 98% defensive snaps played in Week 8.
With him now, the secondary's back to playing their natural positions. Now Hamilton can roam around and be the joker at the second level, right? And do that. Now Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins can play outside again and do that. Alohi Gilman, again, he came from the Chargers. The beauty of this trade is it's the same scheme in a lot of ways, right? Baltimore and
Jesse
Minters and the Wink Martindale and the Mike McDonald up in it's all the same scheme there. So there's a lot of language. So he's quarterback in the defense. That was one of the things that jumped out to me early. I was like, damn, Alohi Gilman's telling everybody what to do. It's his second week there. And I was like, oh, yeah, duh. He knows the rules of this defense. What am I thinking? So that was impressive. And then, of course, Travis Jones, Kyle Van Noy back, right? No more Trent Simpson at middle linebacker. Buchanan seems to be holding down the fort there, the rookie from California.
Yeah.
Brett Urban's healthy on the D-line. That helps for their versatility. And our motherfucker Mike Green is their best pass rusher. He's their best pass rusher. I will say it right now.
I don't even think it's close.
He's their best guy. Van Noy is crafty and all that, but he doesn't have the physical gifts that Mike Green has right now coming off the ball and getting around the edge.
Yeah, the sack he had was one of those where you blinked and you're like, oh, the
he
tackle
did the old, like, he jumped in the air and then hit the ground and got low and exploded by the guy. The guy was like, wait, is he going to go inside or outside? And he's like, oh, shit, he's around me already. And then he got the sack. And a big moment down in the red zone.
Huge moment.
Right.
I think it was no coincidence, too, that he has more help around him now, that it kind of helped him settle into his more natural role.
I think so, too. Exactly right. That was big. So you look at that right there. That, to me, was really impressive. A lot of single safety defense, like I told you. And they trusted their guys to play a lot more man-to-man than really I thought they would play against the Chicago Bears. That was surprising to me. But, yeah, it was a physical butt-whooping, and they did a pretty damn good job of covering receivers in big situations when they needed to.
Yeah, pulling up the coverage looks right now. They ran cover 1 27% of the time, cover 0 8% of the time. I mean, they were living in – that's a lot of man coverage against a good offense.
They were. They opted to crowd the line of scrimmage, and I think that maybe they were a little bit like, hey, Caleb Williams, when he's got to make a quick throw and throw the ball on rhythm and put the ball that way, that's still a little bit of a deficiency of his football game. Right? That to me is certainly still something that's not functioning all the way. Trusting the system, throwing the ball on time when you're supposed to. He certainly has way more than he did last year, but I still think it's a little bit of a work in progress in that department. And that's why you see some moments of, missed throws or the passing game not working or their struggles in the red zone. All of that go on to we're learning a new system, I'm learning a new way to play, and I haven't mastered it quite yet as far as quarterback position there.
That's one of the more glaring things that hasn't carried over from Ben Johnson's Lions to Ben Johnson's Bears is the red zone offense struggling. For the Lions, their red zone percentage rank in 3 seasons under Ben Johnson, third, fourth. Yeah. They were always top 5, which is remarkable. 26th in the NFL for the Bears this season.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I think it's a little of that, of like I said, not trusting, the offense, the having to throw it on time in rhythm. I think he's got a lot of younger guys trying to learn a whole different offense, right? Odunze, our guy from Missouri, Luther Burden, right? The quarterback, the tight ends. There's a lot of different rules in a Ben Johnson's offense. I think a little bit of that too. I think for Caleb Williams, this is still where he's got to get better. As you know, the red zone, the decisions and the room for error are 0. They have to happen like that. When you're inside the 10-yard line, the safety's not worried about backing up. So those windows close in a heartbeat. You got to be all over it. You got to get great anticipation. And you got to make decisions at a rate that are just quicker in the middle of the field. And I do think Caleb Williams is still a little bit of a guy that's like, wait, I want to hang back here and play backyard and then just score a touchdown like that. I've been doing that my whole life. Well, what's the big deal? Well, no, you're not going to be able to do that all the time in the NFL, as you know. So I think that's another aspect that, he's getting used to playing quarterback, managing the game and situations better, and not just freelancing and being a baller like he can be, and we've seen him be before.
And it really feels like they got to get Colson Loveland involved as much as they can. Maybe to turn he's gotten 25% of the end zone targets in the last 2 games, so maybe they're showing that effort there. But he's got to be a big presence for them to punch in touchdowns.
I would think so. I mean, he's, a red zone, again, like we talked about, size is a real big thing in the red zone because the windows aren't big. So when a guy's covered, you got to be able to go, hey, I could throw this up here and he'll go get it. Or the guy's back is turned and I throw a back shoulder, the defender can't see it. So that's where there's the benefit of those guys, the big bodies down there. So I think it's coupled with that, with all the, what I always say, they're getting rewired in Chicago, how to play real, like, elite offensive football from Ben Johnson. And it's a learning process, especially when you got young players on the football team too.
So how about the Caleb Williams interception in the fourth quarter of this game? Because obviously this is a massive moment. Once again, it goes back to, they're backed up in this situation.
It's 16-13.
It's like, this is a gotta-have-it drive.
This is, or at the very least, it's like, wait, you've made the game 16-13. You've swayed the momentum a little in your favor here. It's a defensive struggle. You're on your own 4-yard line. It's not the time to make a play, squeeze a ball in there, or any of that.
2 defenders around.
Yeah, it's the time where you throw it away, you check it down, you play conservative football. So I'm going to stand up here, okay? I mean, again, this is not hieroglyphics, this one. They're going to run a little play action. It's your old NCAA pass. DJ Moore's on the post route. Here comes Odunze on the crossing route. Monungai's in the flat. This is a simple case of Caleb Williams is just too aggressive here. Yep. The first thing I want to just show is look at Monungai in the flat. Keep it going. Just go here. Let it go. Press play. Yeah. Look at. Just throw him the ball. He's going to get 20 yards. Why are we trying to throw a laser into Rome Odunze? And then within the throw to Rome Odunze, right? And again, this is where Caleb Williams has to keep, to me, a little more bounce at his feet. He will just stand flat sometimes, and this was a throw that didn't come out of his hand clean, and I think it's because he does just stand there flat, where Odunze, yeah, he might have him beat just a little, but you got to throw a laser probably like a tenth of a second before that. He tries to throw a ball. The ball comes out a little wobbly. He doesn't get all of his mustard on it to throw the 100-mile-per-hour fastball. And you got Nate Wiggins who has three rockets up his ass, and it's all systems go right now. He's going, oh, no, I'm being beat on the crossing route. I got to get over there. So he's a little late. He doesn't throw a perfect ball. It's a pick. Plus, Marlon Humphrey's going to make it interesting. I mean, so that was a huge moment of the football game, and I have no problem saying that's ultimately the moment that they lost the football game. Again, I always use the phrase, you can't win the game right there, but you can lose it. and he lost it right there.
Yeah, it feels like in that situation, you got to at least try to flip the field when you're backed up and then maybe get one more possession to...
That's right. You just want to get a first down or two.
Just get out of the end zone.
And you get Monungai right there, you're going to get everything you want. He's going to be one-on-one with Marlon Humphrey, pass the first down. Maybe he can break his tackle and get another 10 or 15 yards. And yeah, like you said it, right? Now you punt the ball, and Tyler Huntley's got the ball back at his 20-yard line, and everything changes again. Instead, they get a cheap, easy touchdown, and the game was never the same, and they had to play catch-up from there on out.
So you've mentioned Rome Odunze.
Right.
You've mentioned the tight ends and even Luther Burden, the rookie. What's going on with DJ Moore?
I don't know, and I feel like they're slowly phasing him out. That's what it feels like.
Right.
I mean, it feels like Ben Johnson's like, wait, I have my nucleus. We have Loveland, we have Odunze, we have Caleb Williams, we have Luther Burden. I'd like to grow them for the future. You heard me in yesterday's podcast. I said, if I'm the Eagles and I feel like we can win the Super Bowl, I'm trading A.J. Brown before the deadline.
Right.
And you can continue your dominance of having the greatest roster ever assembled here for the next few years. Chicago, to me, I would think about trading DJ Moore. We talked about there is playoff teams who need firepower at receiver. Like they're missing an extra guy that can make a big play. Chicago's not winning the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
This just in.
It's a building
year. They're doing well with expectations. Yeah. They're 4-3. Yeah, maybe they can get in the playoffs as a 7 seed. That's great. But I still think you got to keep the big picture in mind of going, wait, we could really set things up. DJ Moore, you could have traded him and I think get a significant haul for him to set you up to build your team for next year in the draft and all that. I would think about it. The way they're calling the game, like I said, the talent they have as far as young guys, I think they could get away with it. And I like DJ Moore. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm a big fan of DJ Moore. Anybody that's listening to this podcast knows I like DJ Moore. But it's just, again, and the current NFL, and we know it's so even and everything, I think you got to keep the big picture and where you are as a team right now in your mind. And these are the kind of moves that can give you advantages to go, wait, the league's supposed to be even, but we got a better roster than like 27 of the teams in football. And we're in the upper echelons now. And it's gutsy. I get it. But I think they're set up to do that, and I would seriously think about it in Chicago if I were them.
Well, it feels like when you draft Luther Burden in the second round.
That's what it's for anyways.
The role?
Right.
The same exact role?
Exactly right. They're the same guy. They're the same guy. I know.
The writing is on the wall.
I think so. And if you feel like at the end of the year, you're probably going to get rid of DJ Moore anyways, you're not going to want to pay him anymore, do it now.
Everybody's looking for wide receiver help.
And we're not going to get, I'm not going to get mad at you. I know that. Like I said, I think the bottom line is if you were a Super Bowl team, I'd go, no way, don't trade DJ Moore. Because if one of the receivers gets hurt, you need DJ Moore or whatever.
Right.
But you're not a Super Bowl team. You're a fringe playoff team. If you get to the playoffs, we're all going to be like, oh, my gosh, you exceeded expectations. Here's flowers and roses and everything for you. And that's why I would err on thinking of that.
What would be his best fit? Denver?
I think Denver would be the spot, because, one, they don't have that game breaker type of guy. No. They also have a pretty cool wide receiver screen game. He thrives in that type of stuff too, right? Speed sweeps. They played him at running back a few snaps in this football game, right? He's that type of athlete. So, I look at that Who else are we missing here?
Bills?
Yeah, the Bills. I think I would look at it a little bit to think, ooh, maybe the New England Patriots. I would maybe think about it as well. Yeah, I think those are certainly the teams right off the top of my head that I look at to go, yeah, they could use a little pizzazz at the wide receiver position that certainly could take them to a new level on the offensive side of the ball.
We're going to take our last break, but when we're back, it's our Week 9 preview. You know what it is. What's more likely right after this?
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code CORNERBACK when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
All right, we looked at the AFC odds earlier this week. Let's take a look at the NFC Championship odds here, Chris. Yes, the Lions are on top of the board at plus 320, but no gap between them and the Packers, who are plus 340. And then it's kind of a pool of the Rams, Eagles, Bucks are even a long shot right now, plus 9. I think they just got to get healthy.
I mean, I look at this list right here, all right, and knowing that I might get crap from the Shanahan family and all of that. And I don't even hold that out of it totally. But the top 6 teams on this list, I think, are all NFC Championship type teams.
Right.
I mean, of course, the Bucks, when they're healthy, definitely can go to the Super Bowl.
Could beat anyone.
The Eagles? What? I mean, okay, I don't even have to explain. Don't make me waste my breath. The Seahawks, I think, are in that class as well. Don't be shocked if you saw the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. I think they're good enough to do that. I'm not going to pick it.
Right.
But could they upset one of these teams in a divisional round and get there? Yes, they can. With their defense and what we see from JSN and Sam Darnold and the rest of the offenses coming along, this is to our point what we were talking about yesterday. The NFC is sick right now. The NFC's sick.
It's loaded.
It's super loaded. Like playoff teams and then, like I said, 5 Super Bowl teams there that I think could all go there. And yeah, I'm gonna be rare and say I think the Seahawks are capable. I know it's a little longer shot than the rest of them, but yeah, I still think they're of that caliber.
But I think this is the kind of board where you do play a long shot. Like there's very little sense in playing the favorites in the Lions in Green Bay, who we love, and they're awesome.
Yes.
But that's not the point. The point is, if you today said, okay, the NFC Championship game is going to be Bucks-Packers, there's not a huge disparity.
No way.
So
no way. Exactly right.
That's the point.
Yes, I agreed. I mean, yeah, a long shot with the Eagles is not bad, but yeah, that Seahawks long shot and that Bucks long shot, I think are worthy of being there for sure. And that would be, if you have some extra change in your couch cushion, that'd be something I would think about.
Let's jump into our Week 9 preview. It's what's more likely. The Panthers, 4-4 Panthers, at Green Bay, who's 5-1-1. Jordan Love has over 300 passing yards, or under 250. Love is averaging 256 a game this season, but he's coming off a season high of 360 against the Steelers. Carolina has only allowed 2 quarterbacks this season to clear 250 passing yards. That was Dak and Tua.
Yep.
So what's more likely, Chris?
I think I'm going to go under here. I'm going to go under. I think a lot of the Carolina defense, and last week's misleading. The offense didn't help them out, so that really hurt them. And they didn't play their best game. I get that too. But yeah, I have a hard time thinking that the Packers are going to find big plays down the field on the Panthers defense that way. You got to be able to run the ball a little bit on Carolina. Carolina's defense is good, certainly. Jordan Love, though, and where scares me where I go under 250, because I said this on Sunday Night Football in the pregame show, Christian Watson being back changes their team. It changes their team. Not only is he capable of making big-time plays, but because you have to respect his ability to fly down the field and make big plays, it's going to open up other people in their offense. So that's what is impressive. And I mean, damn, watching that game back the other night and how they attacked in second half, Jordan Love and everything he did was incredible.
Shredding them.
He shredded them.
Like
he really did.
They had no plan in the pocket to go to.
No, they didn't. And we'll talk about Pittsburgh in a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. But I think that if Green Bay can get this run game going a little bit, which we saw Wilson get going a little in the second half, right?
I like him as a player.
I do too. I mean, he hits the hole hard, right? Jacobs a little dancing and then goes. This guy just goes, I'm going, and then we'll see what happens.
Right, 100%.
So it's a little bit of a different attitude that way. But yeah, you talk about Watson, and I think he's going to help Tucker Kraft get open. And man, Jordan Love, like his ability to throw the ball down the field and his ability to hold the ball to the last second with the pocket collapsing, knowing he's going to take a shot, and just stand in there and go, okay, so what? I'm going to get 30 here, though.
Right.
That, to me, is amazing. And that's where I respect Jordan Love so much, and damn did he ball out in the second half of that football game.
Our next one, the 7-1 Colts are on the road to Pittsburgh against those 4-3 Steelers. What's more likely? Jonathan Taylor has over 120 rushing yards or under 80. Jonathan Taylor averages 107 rushing yards a game this season. Pittsburgh's defense is 18th in rushing yards allowed per game, but dead last in passing yards allowed per game. Chris, this one, to me, I know where I'd go.
I'm going over.
I mean, no doubt.
Right. And this would be one of, like, if I'm wrong about the over, okay, I'm wrong. Maybe I'll throw some money on some prop bet about the passing yards, too.
Something's
going to break.
Right.
Exactly right. Something's going to break. One of the two. Go ahead, Steelers. Go all in on stopping the run. Your asses are going to get so torched in the pass game, it won't be funny. Daniel Jones will throw for 500 yards. Oh, yeah, worry about the pass. Your run game will get torched for 200 yards. I don't know what to say about the Steelers anymore. I think I've given up on thinking that their defense is going to get fixed, especially after watching the film of the game last. You saw my notes.
Yes.
Right? Nobody pops on Pittsburgh's defense other than T.J. Watt and Highsmith a little bit and Nick Herbig every now and then.
Right. He's quietly one of the better players.
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
But that's it. And even within that, you saw T.J. Watt, Herbig. Do I look at that, or T.J. Watt and Highsmith? Do I think that's like T.J. Watt's awesome, but I think T.J. Watt's in like the Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, right. Nick Benito, Brian Burns class right now. They're playing more like when I watch film of those guys. I'm like, whoa, who's? Oh, that's him. Oh, whoa, that's them again. Okay, I mean it shows on itself on the film. I don't feel like that with T.J. Watt right now. I take Green Bay's duo over that Pittsburgh duo. Rashawn Gary and Micah,
right.
Certainly. And they looked like they were in fast forward. In fact, almost every defense looks like they're in fast forward compared to Pittsburgh. That's the problem. Watching that game back, too, because I watched Green Bay's defense, too, just to watch a little bit. Green Bay's defense looks like they're in fast forward compared to Pittsburgh's defense. Nobody. First off, there's nobody in the interior part. The linebackers, the D tackles, none of them pop. None of them. The secondary, I'm sorry, but it's past its prime.
It's old.
It is. Jalen Ramsey's still a good player, but you don't want him on an island versus really good receivers. He's not that. He's like he should be nickel, safety, do everything guy, not covering people man to man. He's not that anymore. Darius Slay is definitely not that. In fact, I questioned whether they'd bench Darius Slay in the second half of the game. It looked like Eccles played more. Like they were like, man, Slay can't run. Slay can't run anymore. I don't feel good about saying that. I'm just telling you that's the issues with this football team. Joey Porter's physical, but he can't run either.
No, right. He's the young guy, and he doesn't give you any wheels.
He just doesn't have wheels,
yeah.
Right. So I look at all that, and I just go, yeah, I worry about the Steelers' defense in a big way. And I think that, yes, the Colts are going to have their way with the Steelers' defense.
The spread for this game, by the way, only 3 points.
Is that right?
Yeah, the Colts are only favored by 3.
I am shocked
I was
by that.
pretty blown away by it. I know they're going to Pittsburgh, and I get it. People are just waiting for this magical rug to be pulled out from under the Colts. It's not happening. They're good.
Is the hurricane going there this weekend or something? I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
I would jump on the Colts right now.
Well, here's the problem, Chris.
Yeah.
I think the Colts could run the ball in a hurricane.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's going to storm.
Exactly
that plays into their favor, too.
Yeah. They can't challenge wide receivers on big pass downs. That's their problem in Pittsburgh. They almost have to play off. They can't challenge anybody. So there, if it's 3rd and 7, it's like we're going to find a 10-yard completion somewhere because they're worried about everybody running by them. Safeties are slow, too. There's nobody there. So there's problems in Pittsburgh.
Feels like could be a big Alec Pierce kind of game. He's the guy getting over the top.
Yeah, no
as good
doubt
as Pittman's been, Warren Downs.
Yeah.
Feels like the kind of game where Pierce gets loose.
I could see that happening for sure.
Our next game, the 3-4 Vikings at Detroit. The Lions are 5-2. What's more likely? The Lions D has multiple takeaways or none. Detroit has 11 takeaways in 7 games this season. That's tied for 5th in the NFL. Minnesota has 12 giveaways in 7 games. That's tied for the 2nd most in the NFL.
Multiple. Right. This is
Probably a
it's an
young
easy
quarterback
one.
playing.
Right. He probably should have been like, is it multiple or is it one? Because when you say none, it's like, yeah, you got J.J. McCarthy, who wasn't all that great and impressive before he got hurt, and now he hasn't practiced or done anything. Last week, I think he got to practice a little bit. But, I mean, he's not going to be hitting on all cylinders. With this defense and these freaky, crazy guys they got in Detroit, yeah, Detroit, I think, is going to be a little more healthy maybe in the secondary. I got to look
getting
at
some guys back.
Right, so we'll see
even
where
some
that
of
goes.
the fill-ins.
Even with the fill-ins, they're good. I see multiple here, multiple for sure. Will Minnesota run the freaking ball? That to me is the big thing with Minnesota.
You think they can in this game?
I don't know either. I think they're going to have to maybe try to embrace some ugliness a little bit in this game and try to slow it down and make it ugly that way. Because if they get in the shootout, they're going to be in deep shit.
Our next game, the Broncos, who are 6-2 now.
Yeah.
They've really pieced it together here. They're at Houston. Woo. This is maybe one of the games of the week for sure in terms of unpredictability. The Texans 3-4, but they look so much better as we went over. What's more likely? C.J. Stroud has over 250 passing yards or under 200. He's averaging 232 passing yards a game this season.
Man.
But he's coming off a season high of 318 against the Niners. Denver is 7th in passing yards allowed per game, but they've allowed 4 quarterbacks to go for 250+. And the big one here, Patrick Surtain is now out with a pectoral injury. I think it's a slight tear or partial tear.
I'm going to go with the over here.
Yeah.
Just a hunch. It's not one where I'd go bet on that or I feel good about that. But I think between Surtain, I think Houston found something a little last week with the quick passing game. And I think that they're going to start to finally open up the playbook for these young guys a little bit. And Denver can be, at times, a hair too aggressive. Where I'd be like, you don't need to be this aggressive. You're good enough to kind of play it straight up a little bit more. To me, that might lend itself to, a few more big plays than we see from that Houston pass offense.
Nick Bonito against that Texans line is probably going to be the story. That one.
Without a doubt. That's why they better dial up quick passes. That's for sure.
All right, our next game here, the 5-3 Kansas City Chiefs are at Buffalo, who is 5-2. We've seen this one before. What's more likely, Patrick Mahomes has multiple touchdowns or multiple interceptions as we take a look at Mahomes' career against the Bills, the regular season compared to the playoffs? Mahomes, oddly enough, Chris, 1-4 against the Bills in the regular season. But guess what? No one cares when you're 4-0 exactly against them in the postseason.
Exactly right. I'm going to go with multiple TDs here. I think they're a different animal on offense right now.
Are they ever.
And I don't trust, Buffalo's defense. Now, this is, a game where we know Kansas City can be err on way more pass than run, right? And we know Buffalo, they can be creative in the pass game that way. But I just still don't have faith in Bill's secondary against this passing game with Patrick Mahomes and how it's functioning. And I think that the Chiefs will be able to run the ball enough to an extent where they got to respect it a little bit. They can't just play pass defense all the time. And because of that, I think it's multiple TDs for Patrick Mahomes here.
Our last one, Sunday Night Football. The 5-2 Seattle Seahawks are at the Commanders, who are now 3-5. Feels almost like the season is on the line for Washington in this one.
Right.
What's more likely, Sam Darnold will have over 2 completions of 20-plus yards down the field, or under 2 of those. Darnold has 17 this season. That's tied for second in the NFL.
Yeah.
Darnold leads the NFL with 9.1 yards per attempt.
I love it.
The Commanders are allowing an NFL worst 8.4 yards per attempt. I mean, I think JSN gets this alone. I think he gets both of them.
There's no doubt here. This is not even, Pete made this one easy. Pete usually makes it hard. This one is like, I'm definitely taking the 2+ completions over 20+ yards. Yeah, I would think in this type of football game too. And not that Seattle's rushing offense is anything special, but they stay patient with it.
They commit to it.
Yeah, they do. It's a defensive head coach, and of course it's a Kubiak is from the Shanahan school of coaching, to where they're going to stay with it. They're not just going to let you off the hook. I think that's going to present itself with, again, like we talked about in yesterday's pod. It's a Washington offense that's not very special. Defense that's not very special. And I expect Seattle to make some big plays. I'm a believer in Seattle. And if they have their secondary back healthy, I think it could be one of the best defenses in football. And I don't know, off of bye week, I would think some of those guys come back, but I don't know that for sure. But when they do come back, I know that I think it's talent, scheme, they got it all. And yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to continue to go in an upward trajectory, and I think the Commanders are in deep, deep trouble.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see what the total closes at for this game, because it feels like a desperate Commanders team will do everything they can to keep pace with that Seattle offense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's where Jaden Daniels and his healthy as far as leg and all that is going to be big, because he's going to have to run a little bit. Because Seattle and that front, as we've seen, now that they're healthy, they are tough. And they can stop the run, and they can get after the quarterback. So pump for that. We got some good matchups this weekend across the whole NFL. Check out me and Connor. You'll see us on NBC on Saturday, college football. We talked about it already. USC versus Nebraska, right? We got that.
It's going to be a good one.
So you'll find us there, and continue to hit us up. You know where to find us, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed the week of podcasts. Thursday, PFT Chris Simms is the pick pod. Come check us out, okay? I'm still kind of hot when it comes to my best bets. I know that. If you want to make some money, you might want to listen to me. Now I probably jinxed myself.
That's right. That's how it always goes.
Thanks, dude.
You and I are back Monday at 10 a.m.
Monday at 10 a.m. live. We didn't do it this week because we were on the road, and I froze my ass off outside of the Pittsburgh Stadium, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great crowd. We had a lot of fun with everybody behind us. All right, everybody, be good. Enjoy Thursday Night Football, Ravens, Dolphins. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.